As we stand before Petra, a city carved in rock, solid and eternal as the moon, we are drawn to a question that slips through our grasp, like the incense smoke that fills our temples. What happens when we die? To speak of such matters in the ancient land of Nabatea, chief among the pre-Islamic Arabian kingdoms, is a solemn task. For the thoughts we entertain of the soul's journey beyond the veil are not to be taken lightly. Our gods, goddesses, and even our ancestors all have a special role to play in this great mystery. Yet, as children of the great desert, we are no strangers to the mysteries of life or death, for we live in a land that speaks to us with ancient voices, carved into its cliffs, whispered by the winds that swirl around us. Are you ready to listen, soul traveler? The Nabateans, known for our great cities carved into the rocks and our mastery of trade and irrigation, are also people with a deep spiritual understanding of the world. We do not merely exist to trade in goods. We trade in wisdom, passed down from the elders, the stars, and the divine forces that govern the cosmos. Death, to us, is not an end, but a continuation, a passage from one realm to another. But how, you may ask, do we know such things? Is it not our fate to wonder about the unknown, to question the nature of existence and non-existence? First, let us speak of the soul itself. We, the Nabateans, believe that the soul is eternal. It is the spark of divine breath that resides within us, like a flame flickering in the winds of time. This soul, unlike the body, is not bound by the laws of nature. It is not a product of flesh or blood. It is something more, something that reaches beyond the mortal coil. But what is its nature? Can we truly comprehend it? Or are we merely groping in the dark? When the body dies, as it inevitably must, the soul departs from its earthly prison and journeys to the realm of the gods. But where, you might ask, is this place? It is not a place of simple geography, as our caravan routes follow the stars across the desert. No, it is a spiritual realm, beyond our understanding, where the soul seeks its true purpose. The soul's journey is guided by divine forces. We, the Nabateans, revere a pantheon of gods who oversee the processes of life and death. Among them, Dushara, the great god of our people, stands as the central figure. He is the Lord of the heavens and earth, the bringer of rain and prosperity, and the protector of travelers. It is Dushara who guards the passage of the soul, guiding it to the afterlife, and it is his favor that determines the soul's fate. Will it ascend to the divine realm, or will it wander the desert of the afterlife, lost and restless? But there is also Al-Uzza, the goddess of love, beauty, and fertility, whose influence extends to matters of the heart. She too is involved in the soul's journey, for it is through her grace that the soul may experience peace and rebirth. In some of our beliefs, she is the one who decides whether the soul shall be reincarnated into another body, or whether it will remain in the afterlife, reunited with the gods. The soul, upon leaving the body, must pass through the judgment of these deities. Atargatis, the goddess of fertility and water, oversees this final trial. She is said to weigh the soul's deeds, much as a merchant weighs his goods in the market. If the soul has lived a life of virtue and balance, it will be permitted to join the gods in eternal harmony. But if the soul has been corrupted by greed, arrogance, or evil deeds, it will be cast into the underworld, a dark and barren place where it will be left to wander for eternity. But how can we know for certain what judgment awaits us? Do we not live in constant fear of the unknown? How can we ensure that our souls will be found worthy? The answer lies not in our material wealth or our temporal power, but in our actions toward others and our connection with the divine. The gods, whom we honor with prayers, rituals, and offerings, are not merely distant figures in the sky. They are intimately involved in our daily lives, guiding us in ways both seen and unseen. Each god in our pantheon has a specific role to play in the journey of the soul. Kos, the moon god, is often associated with death and rebirth. In some traditions, it is believed that when the soul leaves the body, it travels through the moonlit night, where it is bathed in the light of Kos. This light purifies the soul and prepares it for its next phase. It is said that the soul, under the guidance of these divine beings, must cross the desert of the afterlife, a vast, arid expanse that represents the challenges and trials of the spirit. This desert is not unlike the one we tread upon in life, for it is a place of both beauty and danger. But beyond it lies an oasis of peace, where the soul is reunited with the gods and bathed in eternal light. Do you ever wonder, my friend, if the desert itself is a reflection of the soul's journey? The barren sand, endless and unforgiving, yet full of promise for those who seek. How can we make the passage less painful? Is it through prayer, through ritual, or perhaps through the way we live our lives? For the Nabateans, the rituals surrounding death are sacred and integral to the soul's journey. We believe that the spirits of our ancestors are ever present, watching over us and guiding us with their wisdom. It is through honoring the dead that we ensure the favor of the gods and the continued peace of those who have passed before us. To bury the dead properly, to offer sacrifices, and to perform the sacred rites are seen as essential to securing a smooth passage for the soul. Our tombs, carved with intricate designs and adorned with offerings, are not merely places of burial. They are gateways, thresholds between the world of the living and the world of the gods. The structures themselves, many of which are carved from the very mountains of Petra, are seen as sacred vessels, designed to ensure that the deceased soul ascends to its rightful place in the afterlife. What happens to us, then, when we die? Is it simply the end of this life, or is it a continuation, a transition into a world beyond? In truth, we do not know for certain. The gods alone possess the full understanding of such mysteries. However, we believe that death is a return to the divine, a return to the home from which our souls first emerged. In our teachings, death is not seen as an end, but as a form of rebirth. It is as though we are all children of the desert, born anew with each passing season. The spirit, like the desert sands, is ever shifting, ever changing, but it is also eternal. Death may take the form of a shadow, but it is only a shadow. It does not diminish the light of the soul. Thus, we are comforted by the knowledge that life, though fleeting, is a cycle, a circle that moves in harmony with the eternal rhythms of the cosmos. We die, and yet we are reborn. In death, we find our way back to the divine, to the gods who created us, and to the great desert that cradles us all. From the Nabateans, we have learned that death is a journey, not a destination, a passing moment, one that connects the soul with the afterlife. To live in harmony with the gods is to ensure that your soul travels smoothly on its journey beyond, either to another life in the mortal world or to a final resting place with the gods in paradise. The alternative is to wander the desert alone for eternity, lost in the vast emptiness. When your final moment comes, soul traveler, your real journey will begin.